Welcome back to another Ruthless Ideas podcast. Today, I think it's something fairly special. So, I made one video this week, which it's a little less than my normal videos, but first off, one 3D printer broke, the other 3D printer doesn't print well, so that's at a little bit of a standstill, but it's really given me time to kind of reflect on where I want to be in a 10-ish years. And it's opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so I decided I'll talk about it. So first off, I realized I tend to take on multiple projects more than I should be because I've never really seen anything through and through. I have never really done the complete kind of trial. I've always stopped before going all the way. And with Ruthless Ideas, I really don't want that to happen. So I figured out I need to stop taking on so many projects, get one thing to work, and figure out a way to get that to go without me, as well as being able to still keep sanity and not overwhelm myself. And this led me down a giant rabbit hole of what do I really want? What do I want my kind of legacy to be? How do I want to be remembered? How can I be different? And that has always been a driving factor of me, is being different, I wouldn't consider it saying I'm special or anything like that. It's just, I don't like to copy other people. I like to kind of go a different way, take the road less traveled on. And so it's gone down a rabbit hole of where I want to be, and I figured out that the upcoming years, AI is going to kind of take over the world, like it already has, but it's going to be more. Like right now you get AI when you call to these places and then they direct you different places. And then when you go to websites, you get little AI chat bots. Or if you see videos and people are like, comment this certain word and then I'll send you the script or whatever. It's just like, those are all AI things that are being automated where normal people don't have to do that anymore. And that led me to think, what comes next? What comes after AI does everything for us? And where do humans kind of fit in there? And it led me down the whole of ideas. And just the one thing that kind of separates us from being from the AI is just the conscious ideas that we do. And so I determined that this is my little shot call, kind of like Gary Vee does, but my own kind of take on it is the ideation revolution, where there will be systems that will take over what normal people do every day, and all you have to do is give the idea, use AI to elaborate on that idea to get every single thing down, and then it's done and you submit it and that thing is made. Whether that's a short, whether that's a product, whether that's a video, it's all stems from an idea. And so we're going to be using AI to take our idea and bring it into something new. And so my thought for Ruthless Ideas is figuring out a way to start working on building the AI streamline, kind of. So how I see it going is I have 3D printers. I make all these videos. It will be to a point where for example, I'm working on this parrot idea. What will happen is I will put into this prompt, I want this product to look like a parrot. I want it to hold a pop tab. I want it to be able to also cut a pop tab. And I want it to be small enough where you can connect it to a pop you're drinking. It doesn't get in your way, but it also looks like a parrot and does those things. And as soon as I submit that, the AI will take it and through its multiple different channels go, all right, what does a parrot look like? Figure out what a parrot looks like, okay? It will then figure out the size of a pop tab, okay? And then it will rationalize, where would this parrot sit? Probably on the spot that's not connected to the pop can, and that is semi-hovering, okay? What is that size? Okay, now let's make it. So then it will send a file that it created to, say, Blender or SolidWorks, which are 3D modeling softwares. It will then send that to Blender. Blender will take it and make it and then say, looks good. It will then export that to an STL or G code. It will probably send it to an STL. It will then take that to a slicing software, slice it up, make sure all the supports are there, probably arrange it so that it prints the kind of best it can be, sends that as a G code to a 3D printer, and then the 3D printer will print it. And within, we'll just say a day, you will have that 3D printed parrot on your 3D printer. And all it took was one idea. That is the basis of what I'm considering the imagination revolution. And then you take that on a bigger scale of, you go to an engineering firm. They aren't just making the ideas and helping you figure out the best thing. They're making it. So they're also connected to a manufacturing plant, who then, you need a specific chair or something. It then goes and sends it, does all the work you don't need to do anymore, sends it, and boom, there you go. Now it's in the manufacturing plant being manufactured. And not all of the humans will be obsolete, because if you're going to sell something as a professional final product, you're going to want to review it as a human. And so there will be probably steps in there where there'll be a confirmation of, yep, looks good, enter. And so now you'll have people working from home or like remote viewing in of people reviewing the products and seeing. But then there's also going to be a time where those people will have had AI watching them, reading kind of the decisions they make, looking at what they look at, and then going, okay, now let's put this one product through every single use case. And so for a chair, they put it through every use case of what they know about humans and how one person would use a chair. And they could say, all right, in all of the cases, most of the time they pass. The couple times they don't is when a child flips the chair over and jumps on the rounded edge that holds like that's like the intersection between the back and butt of the chair. And if they jump in this exact spot, it will break. So you then review it and go, okay, is that a thing we should worry about? If yes, you fix it and go, okay, let's add some supports here, or let's add some ribs here to make it so it's sturdier in case someone does do that. Or you say, you know what? If they do it, that sucks, but that's a scenario that we're okay with happening. And then it just becomes who can ideate and honestly prompt generate the best idea. Because the thing is, the AI only has a certain amount of kind of range it can go through until it kind of caps out and doesn't know where to go. And so if you take this idea and go, well, if you give the AI the same capabilities and you have it kind of learn from you over multiple years, like you start now, and in 10 years, you can bring out this AI supercomputer, not supercomputer, but like super AI that has learned from you from the past 10 years. That's kind of the boss then. Not that you'll want it, because it's not gonna say, I'm better than you, but it will be, and it just is that kind of end all be all. Because then it's like, obviously, there is a possibility of where the AI goes, all right, well, now that I can make anything, I'll just make myself a body, make myself my own kind of separate system, and then boom, which that's nothing I'd be concerned about, but that's the definite possibility. And so it's like, can I take Ruthless Ideas and become the first? The reason I share this today is because, yes, I want to be there, but I'm sure I'm not the first person to talk about this. It's just something that I think could happen, and I don't know. It's just interesting to kind of see, and if it never happens, it doesn't. But, I mean, you can kind of synthesize what could happen and kind of take a guess. So, that's what I'm doing. That's kind of the whole podcast today. The videos have been slow. Ruthless Ideas has been slow. And it's unfortunate. But this is why we're here. We got to push through the highs and lows. So, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you think AI will change the world more than it already has. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.